How you doing, guys? So I'm here at SRF, and I finally have a chance to meet Mr. Chuck Peoples. I'm going to do an interview with him, asking some questions, maybe get some insights from him. Coming right up. All right, sir, could you please introduce yourself to my
I am.
subscribers?
I'm Chuck Peoples with Homestead Medical, critical care paramedic. I've been doing the whole paramedic thing for 28 years now.
Just a few years?
Just a few years, done a thing or two, seen a thing or two. We're here at SRF, and finally I get to sit down with Mr. Max here and
Absolutely.
talk to him. We've been talked a lot, and I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, so Chuck has a channel, Homestead Medical. He does medical training. He sells medical products,
Kits, yep.
kits.
Custom kits.
He has quite a few pretty badass kits put together that has with him this weekend. If you're not here, then, well, I don't know what to tell you.
You're missing out.
You're missing out.
You should be here.
You should be here. If you're not here, you're wrong.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So, how did you start out in what you're doing?
Actually, it was through SRF. I came to the very first SRF by myself. I didn't know anybody. I found John online. I actually, 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, I was sick in the hospital. I was in the hospital for 5.5 months.
Ooh.
That kind of also spurred some of the wound care. It all kinds ties together. I was gravely ill. I was in ICU for 3.5 months. So when I was laying there, and I was in Texas at the time, and this was in the middle of COVID, so my family couldn't come down. The hospitals were all, locked down for all the CUFUS, and so I'm by myself. So when I started actually feeling better, where I could raise my head up and look at the phone, started watching videos, and I'd watched Tactical Response, James, his videos
Right.
and stuff, and it actually, that summer, I'd actually signed up for a class and couldn't go. It was going to be my first Tactical Response class, which I still haven't taken one yet, but I plan to.
You need to
I've
fix
had
that.
some.
Yeah,
I
we
need
definitely
to
gotta
bad.
fix that.
I need to bad. But so I was watching John's videos and kind of went that and watched all of his stuff and started going on his lives, and then so I decided they did this first SRF thing. I said I'm gonna go to it. I just want to see what it's about. I knew nobody. I mean,
Right.
I walked in on this compound not knowing a soul, introduced myself, and
It's not at all intimidating, not even a little bit.
no, not at all. But it changed my life. I mean,
Right.
the people, my friends now, the people I contact, the contacts I made. I mean, really, it's changed my life, and I feel like I have all this group of people I can learn from you, your videos that you do. I learn stuff, from Bulletin, from Mike with the stuff he does, Andrew, from combat art training, and then of course the tactical response stuff and the alumni there, and they're my friends now.
Right.
And that's who the people I communicate with, the people I want to hang out with, the people I want to be around is that group. And so, second SRF, John asked me to speak on medical stuff. I was working for other stuff. I've got about 20 years of teaching experience in the EMS community and other stuff. And I did contracting worked some overseas stuff after I left public service. So I spoke here a couple of times. People came up to me, well, do you teach? Do you have a company? I'm like, no. And I started thinking about it, and they said, you should.
Yeah.
So I was sitting in this building with John. Matter of fact, Evan Dixon from Radio Made Easy was there because I watched how John did the same thing to him,
Yep.
how Radio Made Easy started. I said, I think I'm going to do this, start my own company, start doing this. And John, he said, oh, you're just talking stuff. He goes, you're not going to do it. And that motivated me right there, and here I am. And I'm successful because of SRF, and then the outline, all the community, how it all branches together through the tactical response alumni. One of my best classes that I've taught was in Ohio, and most of the students were alumni students.
Right.
And
That was at Bob Lester's place?
yeah, it's Bob Lester's place. We did a live tissue, live fire class. Jerry Nuss was the other instructor, which phenomenal instructor.
Yeah, Jerry's awesome.
Yeah, just incredible guy, and I just love just being around him. But most of the students, there were some people who didn't have any medical, but most of the students were alumni fantastic. I mean, I still look at that class. That's my favorite class I've taught because they're motivated.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what gets me to me is when I see people hungry that want to train and learn more and do things. That's what's getting me
Real
started.
people.
Yeah.
Like real people
Yeah.
that want to do real things, that are willing to kill their ego.
Yeah, and they're not, and they're very experienced people. I mean, you know, and I always say, we're come train with me. Let's train together, because that's what I look at it is. Because I learn something even though I'm teaching a class, I learn something. Maybe that one little bit of
Right.
tiny, but it's an aha moment from students and stuff. That's what I love, you know, and that's what started. It was SRF coming to events like this, doing things like this, and then, you know, the whole what I call the YouTube world is everybody who has channels like you know, just all the different people. You can learn so much, and just people I talk to and that's the people I seek advice from. I consider it my mentors. It's my group of mentors that I can learn from, you know, and I can pass some knowledge on to them. We all just train together. You know, we learn from each other.
Yeah, when I took fighting pistol, again, like I had been watching James for years, and and I finally was like, you stupid fat shit, go down there and take the class. Like, stop fucking around, just do it. And at the time, they had done a 50% off for first class deal, and I was like, okay, like, and I literally had almost exactly that amount in the layaway, ready to go. It's like, okay, well, go do this, please. And I had the privilege of coming down and meeting James. Like a lot of people that take his classes, they don't ever get a chance to meet the man. He's still there. He's represented in everything they do and everything they teach. But I had the privilege, and I consider it a privilege, to get alone time with him and talk with him on multiple trips down. And at the same time, like, I could have done classes in PA, which were 2 hours for me.
Right.
But I drove 14 hours instead, because not only did I want to take the classes, but I wanted to meet John. I wanted to meet Amanda.
I come down here. I wouldn't have to be here today. I've been here since Wednesday. I come early.
Yeah.
Because of the people. I want to hang out with the people, because when the festival starts, I've got our booth, I'm selling stuff, talking to people. People want classes. I come early to hang out with you all, you know, to get time, because this is my time. I look forward to it.
Yeah,
I mean, this
like
is it. All of us are together.
Yeah. After this, it's going to go.
Yeah, and that's what I love, is just hanging out and getting the alone time, you know, one-on-one, a few of us together, getting to sit down and talk with John and Amanda, or, you know, I was just talking to Jack Spirico, you know, just a few minutes, and David is with them, and then just all the different people, Tim Cook and Joel Riles, he's here doing the dog stuff, just to hang out. It's not really doing anything. It's just spending time, because just the casual conversations, you learn things.
Oh,
you know?
I mean, I don't think, you know, it's very intimidating to walk into a room and John's there and some of the other people that are standing there, because you see them on their channels. It can be very, very intimidating, but you're welcomed. Like, I mean, the welcoming atmosphere, it always, you know, kind of fills your heart, because, like, you know, these are busy people that have a million things to do, but they're still willing to stop, take time to talk to you, to spend time with you, and they want to.
Well, it's the best way I can describe it. It feels like home.
Yeah.
Like, I look so forward to coming to this. I take extra time off. I rearrange my schedule. I spend the extra money on hotel room or whatever, just so I can be down here with everybody. And when you get around these people, it truly, my life has truly changed direction. I've done the preparedness, prepper, whatever you want to call it, since, I don't know, 98, you know.
Right.
And I've done things where I've done hurricane responses and disaster responses, and I've seen what the help we're supposed to get, they tell us we're going to get, it ain't going to happen. So I prepare that way, but this will change you. And the people that you come down, and I consider John and Amanda mentors, like true mentors. He's taken so much time of his, and I can message him and go, hey, what do you think about it? And he'll just flat out tell me, you know, no, that's stupid, dude. You know, and I listen to his advice, because he's right, because he's telling you, because he's learned from his mistakes. And all the different people, you know, and I've been a firearms enthusiast since I don't remember. I mean, I was a kid. My dad took me duck. I got my first shotgun when I was 6 years old. You know, I've always loved shooting and guns and firearms. And I used to be pretty good, but it's kind of slacked off. I don't train as much as
It is one of those skills, like they call it a perishable skill, and
It is.
and there's nothing more true than that statement, because when I took fighting pistol the first time, unlike listening to what James had to say, I spread things out. So I took fighting pistol, and then 6 months or 9 months later, took immediate action medical, and then when I took the fight, I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, that's what I want to take.
I need to go back, and I took fighting pistol a second time. And first of all, it was a completely different class, because the first time you take it, it's very much you have tunnel vision. The second time I took it, I was able to kind of...
You open up your
Yeah.
eyes. Yeah, I've taken classes. I mean, just even medical classes. I've taken some medical classes literally 10, 15 times. The same class, different instructors. You learn something new, but when each time you take it, you get more of that.
Yep.
You're not that tunnel vision. You can
Yep.
open up. And the thing that's intimidating about here for me is I used to think, and I've worked in environments where I had to carry a firearm. I mean, I literally, that was part of the job. We had to be armed. I've taken training, but even coming to that, like professional guys who did it for a living, they carried a gun, they went after the bad guys, trained. But this group, I think that's where I get intimidated, because there's some damn good shooters, and like Andrew, it's like I want to take classes from Andrew, and I consider him a friend, but I thought I don't want him to think I'm a dumbass because when I shoot, because he's good. And the instructor, I was talking to Lewis from Tactical Response last night. Just they're phenomenal people.
Yes.
It's a whole different atmosphere. But like you said, the training. If you're not training, I'm still training. I still train. I've done this 29 years. I do not know any.
No,
I'll never be an expert.
I think anyone that thinks that they've ever gotten to the point where they've learned enough, they're not really a student. Like, the reality is that the minute you think, so I had an opportunity, I guess it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had an incident with my vehicle, I had to get fixed. So a friend of mine, his son, helped me fix it. And I've been telling him, take a class, take a class, take a class. So I finally told him, I said, listen, go get your gun, get your holster you carry, and come outside. So he went and got his stuff. And I just ran him through basic of how to get on target.
Right.
Just that basic thing of the steps to get on target. So from movement to drawing, from concealment to all the positions to the point where your sights are on target. And he was very overwhelmed. And I told him, I said, this is like the tip. And no matter how far you get into it, when you think if you think at any point everything you need to know, it is just the beginning. And there's always more to learn. And I think anyone that doesn't go into it with that attitude, they're missing something, because it's so important to have that mentality.
Well, it's in my profession, public service EMS, paramedics. There's paramedics I've seen, I've worked with, they take the bare minimum, what they have to do to recertify our licensure, certification, whatever you want to call it. And we have to do that. But I always took extra stuff, and I would have people, why are you doing that? So I want to learn more. I want to be better. I want to be a better provider. And it's also, people ask, well, why are you taking these classes? Or why are you going here to do that? To learn. I want to do better. I want to be self-sufficient, but just like a firearm, if I'm going to carry a firearm for protection, I should always want to learn and try to learn from people who are much better than me that can teach me things. So if God forbid, if I ever do have to use it to protect myself or my family or people around me, I should be the best I can be. And just going out and purchasing a gun, then you get a holster and you go around and start carrying it, you're an idiot. I mean, I'm sorry. I've got a new pistol, a new handgun that I purchased. I've told a couple people, "Are you carrying it?" Not yet. I said, "Why?" No. I don't have enough time with it.
No.
I don't know. And it's a different. I've always carried a Glock, and this is a SIG, a 365 macro, and I love it. It feels natural, and I've shot one. A friend of mine had one. I put quite a few rounds through it. I shoot well with it, but the one I've got, I don't have enough, and I want to take a class. That's the thing is, I was talking to Lewis.
That's it.
I want to go take a class with it. I want somebody put me through that, stress-induced training, because that's what it is. If you have to use it for real,
it's the worst.
You're way up here.
People have to reconcile the fact that if you ever have to use your gun, that is the worst day of your life.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
For most people. I mean, maybe some people have been through worse things, but like for most people, if you ever get to that point and you're in that situation, you are having the worst possible day that you could have.
It's a traumatic experience.
Yes.
No matter what. And It's muscle memory.
Yep.
That's what training is. You're developing that muscle memory because when your adrenaline's right up here, I mean, I've been on calls treating people who gravely ill, I mean, horrific injuries and stuff. And I'm not thinking about that. You know, I might walk up and go, oh shit, you know, but you can't let the patient see that. So you try to be calm. And I'm doing stuff, and it's afterwards when I've done all that, I'm like, shit. But I didn't consciously think about doing it because it's muscle memory. When you do that, you train, and that's the way anything you should do with a firearm. That's what it should be, because if you, God forbid, you have to use it, your adrenaline's going to be up here. You're not thinking clearly. You know, it's if you've ever been in any type of a real situation like that, your hearing's affected. Everything slows down. It's a weird feeling.
And then you add to that something like, now it's a child.
Yeah.
Like, now it's a child. Like
I've had the babies in my arm.
Like, so the more that you train, the more you are going to be capable of putting aside all the things going through your mind, all the adrenaline. You're not going to be affected as much by what your body is telling you to do. What your mind's telling you to do. Your body's just going to flow through and do what you've been trained to do.
And it's just like medical classes. It is a perishable skill. And if you have to do it, and there's technique to everything. People buy a pressure bandage. Oh, I know how to use it. You just wrap it around. No, you don't. There's a technique for it.
Yeah.
There's a way to use that. There's a technique to packing a wound. There's a technique putting a tourniquet on and doing it right. And knowing what a hasty tourniquet is and a deliberate tourniquet. And there's so much education on it. You should do that, and you should be able to protect your family. If you've gone out and bought medical and you haven't had training, it's useless tools.
And I'm kind of at the point now where, you know, I used to be more charitable. I think I've gone over the edge. Like, if you're carrying a gun and you're not carrying medical, fuck you.
Well, no, you're 100%. Let me explain something to you. I'd say carry a tourniquet every day. This is the tourniquet, and I'm not going to lie, I don't have it in here because Max just came up to me and goes, "You ready to do this?" Yeah. We walk over and do it. This tourniquet's in my pocket every day. When I take the stuff out of my pocket tonight, it lays on top of my wallet. I'm not leaving the house without my wallet. I carry my med kit that's not even designed to be a med kit, but I made it. This is SOE pocket organizer.
Yep.
It's a full IFAC in here.
Yeah.
Because I carry a firearm, I'm going to have these things because this is the stuff that I need. That if I don't treat it within 5 minutes or less, I'm going to be dead, or somebody else is going to. I'm not going to do that.
I've said this before on the channel. I'm sorry if you've heard me say this before, but suck it.
Yeah.
For me, I had a moment where I was doing all the things, and everyone would post like their EDC pictures.
Right.
So they would have their gun, their knife, all the cool guy stuff.
Right.
So I had laid everything out. I had taken a picture and I posted it, and I was like, "This is what I carry every day." And somebody private messaged me, and said, "Where's your medical?" And I said, "Oh, well, what most people in that situation say is, well, it's in my car, or it's in my bag." And then he said, "Okay." He said, "I want you to think about this. You just did all the John Wick stuff. Like you down that guy. He is down. You're good to go. Everything went well. Your wife's on the ground bleeding out because she took a round. What do you do?" And to this day, and I've said this before, sorry if you're hearing it again, to this day it gives me chills because I pictured in my head my wife or my child on the ground and they're bleeding out.
Yeah,
And from that day on, I carried medical.
Oh, and that's also that aha moment. And it's great that the guy, that's a friend.
Yes.
Didn't blast you publicly.
That's a brother.
Yeah, that's a brother who goes, "Hey, man,
Yep.
why aren't you doing this?" and does it privately. It's the way it should do. And I'm not telling people to carry, but do I want to sell stuff? Do I have a business? Of course, I want to make money. Everybody does. But I'm more about, I want you to have the proper training so you can use these tools.
Yep.
And if you think, "Oh, he's an asshole, I don't want to take training from him," or "I don't like him," I'll tell you who to go take training from. I'll tell you who to buy the stuff from because I know. And the products that I sell and the stuff I've used on real people. I can tell sitting in a classroom when somebody's teaching about tourniquets if they've ever put one on somebody for real. It's different. You'll never forget it because that person's going to scream and yell, and the only thing they're going to ask you to do is take it off. They'll fight you. They'll swing at you. Everything. It's how you put up. But yeah, you're causing pain, but you're saving their life.
Yeah.
But you can go out and buy all this stuff, but if you're not training for it, if you don't know how to use it, it's ridiculous. That's why I'm not just the firearm I bought. I don't have it. I'm not carrying it because I haven't taken training with it.
Yep.
And I have taken from reputable instructors and stuff, but I feel like my training is severely lacking because I haven't gone to tactile response stuff. And the reason I feel that way is I see all the alumni and I'm friends with them and I see what they do and what they talk, and I trust all of you all. And if you're telling me you've got to go do this, it's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Like Jody
Yep.
was telling me about Premier Body Armor.
Yep.
They're setting up a booth, and he made some introductions. And he goes, "Hey," I said, "Look, man, you tell me it's good to go stuff. That's where I'm going because I was looking for new stuff."
And because he's a trusted source, like
Yes.
you know
Yeah.
that he is trying to do for you what someone did for him. Because
Yeah.
let's face it, we've all been that guy.
Yeah.
Every one of us
Every
at
one
some
of us
point has
have.
been that guy.
Yeah.
But like the guy that messaged me, like there was no ego trip involved.
No.
That is a brother. That is someone that wants to make you better.
Well, and it's also in the community. You want to support each
Yep.
other. You want to see them be successful. I don't get me like, Evan, what he's done with Freddie Meat. Man, I share his stuff. I do. Anybody's business. I've shared yours. I try to get on people's social media by simply just hitting the thumbs up, by commenting.
A comment and a like? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it took me that whole,
Yeah.
30 seconds. My God, that affected my life so much.
I mean, your thumb probably is never going to recover.
Yeah, it's never going to be. But why wouldn't I? They're my
Right.
friends. Why wouldn't I want to see them
Yep.
succeed? And if it is just something as simple as a YouTube channel, of course I want it to become popular.
Yep.
I want them to be better. I want Evan to succeed. I want Evan to become a millionaire. I think it's great. He's a great guy. I want Andrew to become a millionaire.
Yep.
Andrew and I are going to do some collaborative stuff because I trust Andrew.
I mean, I feel privileged. Like Andrew has trusted me enough to ask my opinion about
Yeah.
things, and like to me, that's a weighty responsibility.
Yeah.
And it should be. And I feel privileged by the fact that he trusts me enough to call me and say, "Hey, what do you think?" It's a beautiful thing because the reality is that there are times, especially if you make the mistake of watching the news, where you really do feel like the world's against you.
Yeah.
But the reality is that if you stop worrying about the things that you can't control, and you only worry about the things that directly affect you, and you start associating with people that are better people,
Yeah.
your world opens up.
Well, they're going to make you better.
Yep.
And if you get those people, just like the guy who messaged you privately,
Yep.
and hey, that's the people I want. I want somebody to come to you and go, "Hey man, you're fucking up.
Yeah.
What are you doing?" Those are real friends. And I've had the same thing. I've had John Willis ask me my opinion, and that's like,
Yeah.
he's got a very successful business.
And he's a
35
guy
years
that
doing
could
it.
literally reach out to anyone.
Yeah.
Like he's a guy that literally could reach out to anyone.
But when I have all this community in it,
Yeah.
and I feel it's really a privilege. I mean, sometimes it still takes me back when I have people. You contacted me, Andrew, all the different people. Well, hey, what do you think? And like Lewis. Lewis and I had never formally met before. I've met the other people. We met last night, and he goes, "Oh yeah," he goes. Comment he said, I mean, it like stopped me in my tracks. He said, "People that I really trust and do have
Yes.
spoke very good words about you, so I wanted to be." And that was
Yeah.
a big compliment. But when you start hearing that, it's regular people, but you don't understand these aren't regular people.
No.
They're really not. They're a cut above the rest.
Yep.
It's not like the rest of society. And we're not different. We're just people who want better lives and do things and be left alone and do the things we want. And it's our rights.
I mean, the reality is like this channel, like,
Yeah.
I make,
Yeah, yours and mine both.
okay?
Yeah, zero.
Like there's nothing about my channel that in any way, shape, or form has earned me a friggin' cent. But I'm here spending my money, spending my time because the connections that I've made as a result. Like I have family that I consider family. I have people that my bags are packed for
Yeah,
that live in North Carolina.
yeah,
I have people that my bags are packed for that live in Florida.
yeah. If there's people here
Because-
right now.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm in West
because-
Virginia. They call. I'm
Yeah.
going.
And that to me is so valuable that you have this network of people and you continue that they want you to do better. They continue to want you to be stronger. And in turn, you can kind of spread that out. And the other thing is, you never know who you are for somebody else.
Right. And I've gotten comments like, my class Sundays that I'm doing here, it's sold out. And I actually upped the numbers more than I normally would, because I like to keep numbers smaller, because I like to have hands-on with everybody. I want to make sure.
I might jump in there and just be your bitch.
Just jump in, brother. You're welcome anytime. You just
be,
walk in. You don't have to ask.
I'll just be your tourniquet bitch.
Yeah.
Like, okay, go.
But it's which is humbling. But the other thing is I want to pass this on. The thing about medical, and I always get knocked when I say this, and fine, haters get ready to hate away. It's not rocket science.
Nope.
The medical field has made this rocket. It's skill and knowledge. I'm not an expert.
It's simple, not easy.
Yeah, it's skill and knowledge. I'm just passing that on, and this is stuff that I found, and I'm going to pass on the things that I've learned that work, that other people showed me, or I've just done trial and error.
Yeah.
It's medical practice for a reason. Nobody's an expert. That's why it's called a medical practice. You are still learning, because every little situation is different. Every little wound is different.
Yeah.
Everything is different, so you learn about that. I enjoy it. I've always tried to make myself better. I've always tried to make myself a good practitioner. And I want to pass that on to people, because I think it's important they know. What happens if you, and it may not be the zombie apocalypse, but let's look at the disasters we've had.
Oh my
Let's
God.
look what's happened the last few years to healthcare. You've got to wait. You live in a rural area. I've been to areas. Look at Hurricane Katrina. They didn't have functioning hospitals. The hospital ship Mercy from the U.S. military was the hospital in New Orleans. They had to bring it in. I mean, you go to these. Look what happened in Hawaii right now. You start looking at all these regional disasters. There's no health care. What are you going to do?
Yeah, and if you think that can't happen to you, you're a fool. Here's the reality of it. Forget all the big disasters and all these other things. A deer runs out in front of your vehicle and you roll as a result. Or you're driving down an interstate and you watch somebody roll their vehicle, which happens every single day.
Yeah.
You will say you have more of a chance to save someone's life by a ridiculous margin with the medical you have on you or the medical you have in your vehicle than you ever will with your pistol.
Here's the thing. We're Self-Reliance Festival. Name speaks for itself. A lot of people who have homesteads or own homes, you're out working by yourself. You've got a chainsaw and stuff. I've used a tourniquet on people in the civilian world more for injuries like a chainsaw injury and stuff at home than I've ever for gunshot or stabbing wounds in the civilian world, because that's what happens. I've done the chainsaw because you're by yourself. You've got 90 seconds.
Yep.
Because if you hit an artery, you're going to go unconscious within about 90 seconds from blood loss.
And then
People say 3 minutes. Yeah, you'll bleed out in 3 minutes.
Yeah, but you'll be unconscious long before that.
So when you're done at 90 seconds, who's going to save you? And if you don't have this on you to at least stop that bleeding, you're done. What about your family? What's your family going to do? Who's going to take care of your kids? Your spouse, what are they going to do? Or the person who's close to, or your friends. They don't want to see you. I don't want to see anybody. That's why I tell people, I walked up to a police officer about 3 weeks ago. It was a rookie in training with another officer I knew. He had an over uniform, a vest carrier. I look in, he's got a tourniquet, great, and I look and I see it's in the package.
Yep.
I couldn't help myself. I walked up and I went, hey, introduced myself. I said, can I do something and you not shoot me? Yeah. I took his tourniquet out, I opened it up, I did it, pulled it away.
Right.
Staged it, put it back in. I said, I don't know if you've had training yet. I'm sure you've had a little bit. You need to get some, but that would kill you. I said, I'm just doing it because I want to see you go home at the end of your shift.
So we had a cops respond to my house because we had an incident with my mom. My mom fell, and it was a young kid. Like, honestly, I saw him around the first time Halloween. I thought it was someone dressed up as a cop. That's how young he looked. But in any case, so they show up, and kid rolls into the house, and he's got two.
Yeah.
And his partner, he was probably, I found out he was like 23 or something like that. His partner's in his 40s, nothing. And I said to him, I said, good on you.
Yeah.
He said, what do you mean? I said, the tourniquets. I said, good on you. And the old guy said, yeah, fuck that shit. I think it's important to acknowledge that because he got a ration of shit from that old guy about the fact that he's walking around with these tourniquets in a small town outside of Philly. But the reality is that It doesn't take some crazy, jihad event to need to have a tourniquet. It could simply be someone was walking their dog
Yeah.
and fell, or it could be someone that was working in their yard and slipped and cut their arm.
How many people are watching? You're going to work in your yard with a chainsaw, or
Yep.
you're gonna have an axe or a hatchet. You're splitting wood,
especially.
do whatever, or you're just trimming a tree with an electric trimmer. Things can fall, and
Yep.
you're going to be exposed, and it's or you're. Here's one that I did. I'll have to show you the pictures later. I have pictures. Got kicked up, got mad, was talking on the phone to his girlfriend or something, kicked a mirror on the wall. Came down,
Jesus.
got both arteries in his lower leg, and had to put a tourniquet on. I mean, it's little things like that you don't think that happen in a split second
Yep.
that'll kill you. So why wouldn't you want to be, you're a freaking adult. Be responsible.
And again, my personal opinion is, if you're carrying a gun, whether
You're an absolute idiot.
whether you're a policeman or not,
Yeah.
if you're not carrying medical, fuck you.
Exactly.
Like, you, like it or not, when you do that, when you make the conscious decision to put a gun on your person, you are taking there's a responsibility you are taking on, whether you realize it or not. And if you're not ready for that responsibility, don't carry a gun. Still carry medical.
Here's the thing. You've got a firearm. You're going to put rounds down range. Those fucking rounds are going to come
It's
right
amazing.
back at
They
you.
come right back, don't
yeah,
they?
They'll come
Yeah.
right back. You're an absolute idiot. Don't tell me and give me the excuse, oh, it's too big, it's too cumbersome. I carry this every single day. If I don't have this, I have one on my ankle. I have an ankle ring.
Yep.
And what was it James said, and actually Evan mentioned this last night, it's not supposed to be comfortable. It's supposed, you
Right.
know what,
So
what I mean?
a gun, medical is supposed to be comforting,
Yeah,
not
comfortable. And it's not, but you know what? I forget I have this
Yeah.
in my pocket. I forget.
But why is that? It's because you carry it every damn
Every day, and you get used to it and you forget, but you know what? I know it's there and it's muscle memory. I
Yeah.
know what pocket it's
Yeah.
in. I can reach it with both hands no matter what, where it is, but I always have it. You go in my vehicle right now, you can walk, there's a tourniquet right there on the visor you can grab. I've got a vehicle med bag. There's 2 tourniquets
Yeah.
on it. There's probably half a dozen tourniquets in my vehicle that are there every day. I carry extra medical everywhere I go. Now, yeah, is it ingrained in me for what I do? But I don't do it because, oh, I'm a paramedic, I'm going to save the day. I do it for my family. My son is with me here. We're traveling. I
Yep.
don't want to see something happen to my son. I don't want to see anything happen. I provide free medical coverage for here because I care about these people. And I want to see this event grow.
And by the way, just so you know, like, okay, so you got the training, you got the tourniquet, you've got a basic bleed response kit. That's the start.
That's what is going to keep you alive in those injuries. That's 5 minutes
That's
or less
the
that'll
start.
kill you. But there's a lot more.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. Great. Put the tourniquet on. You carried it. You stopped the bleed.
Now
what? What are you going to do for 2 hours?
Yeah.
2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months to take care of this?
Yeah.
How long can you leave this on? How do you take this off? How do you know to take this off? You know, there's...
And here's a question. So where can they learn these valuable
Well, there happens to
skills?
be a business I own
Yeah.
called Homestead Medical, homesteadmedical.us, and you could get all this. But I do that, and I've done this. I may have a group of people, hey, we want you to come teach, but we've got this level of medical training. We want to go. I'll custom design a class. It's not a canned class. And it doesn't cost any extra. I want to deliver. You're paying me to provide a service. I want to provide the service you want. It's not hard. We can custom design a class. You want to focus a little bit more on something, dive into more something. But here's the thing. It's not just the trauma. And I call this the cool guy ninja shit because it's the, do you know how to take care of somebody who's truly sick, who's septic for 2 weeks? What if you didn't have that conventional medical care? What are you going to do when there's a problem, in the eyes or the ears, the nose, the mouth? Do you know how to take it? What about a dental problem? Let me tell you what, an abscessed tooth will knock you on your ass and take you out of the fight. I don't care how tough you are.
Because the reality is, like in the doomsday prepper fantasy world, the reality is it's the infection that's going to fucking kill you.
It's going to be that cut on your
Yeah.
finger. It's like
Yes.
John says. It's going to be that little scrape I've got
Yep.
or the hangnail, and I stick my hand in poop as I'm taking care of
Yep.
the animal. Because in all reality, that's what happened to it's bacteria that almost killed me
Right.
and put me in the hospital for 5.5 months. It was an infection, and that's what will get you.
Yep.
And the wound care, people don't do it properly, and I want to see these people live, because it's the little things. Because look at our world. If you think if it's not different, you are living in a fantasy world.
And it certainly isn't. Doesn't seem like it's getting better.
It's not.
So the reality is, whatever we're at right now, whatever frustration you have, whatever fears you have, whatever apprehension you have, the reality is, unless you're blind, it's not getting better. So all you can do is improve yourself, improve the people that you're with, get your family to take training.
Yes.
Grow a group around you that is willing to learn.
Don't give me the excuse you can't do it or your family can't. In my class Sunday, I was just talking to him. A father and son are taking the class. His son is 10 years old.
Yep.
And he's taking an advanced wound care class. Don't tell me they can't do it and they can't do young. My grandson's 7 years old, knows how to use a tourniquet.
Yeah.
You know, my son grew up with it, you know.
So what it all comes down to, guys, is Chuck is a wealth of knowledge because he's done the shit, and it's horrible that he's had to, but thank God he has, because then he can present that information to you. And so Sunday here at SRF, if you're not here, you're wrong. They do it twice a year. Get here in spring. It's not just this; it's everything.
Yeah.
There is something here there are people here that will never even consider carrying a gun.
No, but they're here.
But they're
amongst
still
us.
here.
Yeah.
Everyone that's coming here is kind of I think wants the same thing. They want to be better. They want to improve themselves. They want to be more self-reliant and not rely on this ambiguous cloud that is, the government or your local, police or paramedics or giant food stores. Like, the reality is that they want to be able to do for themselves more. So Sunday I'm going to try and jump into his class.
Absolutely.
Unless I'm distracted by 15,000 other conversations. And then we're going to get him up to PA to do a class. We have a group of people that have medical training, but the reality is that especially what my interest is what's happening after that point, especially if you have a long-term situation where you can't get care. So check out Chuck. Again,
homesteadmedical.us. And here's just to follow up what he said. My stuff's transferable too, because a lot of people living this lifestyle have livestock that they may have a milk cow or that's what's feeding them and stuff. It's all transferable.
Right.
All the kits I sell, I've actually had large animal vets look at the stuff to make sure. And so, or even just your dog. Everybody loves having their pets and their animals. It's transferable to use it on that too.
Right.
So it's multifaceted.
And I mean, here's the thing too. If you reach out to him, he's going to respond to you.
Yeah.
Like he's accessible. So it's not just some face. Like, reach out to him. He will tell him that you saw this video. Say, hey, I was watching Max's
please
Path.
do.
I saw the interview. Hey, I want to find out about XYZ. Like, reach out. Like, that's the whole point of this.
The phone number on my website rings this phone, my cell phone. It's my personal number. I do that because I want to be accessible and I want to ask questions. Max, we talk, we text. He's called me. I want all my friends to, but I want you all to come out and do it and jump in the classes. If you're near Pennsylvania, when they do it, it'll be on my website. He'll put it out. Come down and just train. Make yourself better.
And even if you're not from Pennsylvania, if you can get a group of people together,
I'll come to you.
Contact him.
I'll come to you. I need 6 students is what I need for a 2-day class. I'll come to you. Now, if you're in California, you're shit out of luck. Sorry. Or Illinois, you're shit out of luck. I already had people in Illinois.
Well, there are borders to these states.
Yes,
and
there are.
Towns
there
on
are.
just the other side of that border. So,
that's right.
Be industrious and figure it out.
That's right. But anywhere else I'm going to Texas to teach. I just got back from Kansas. I live in West Virginia. It was a 10.5-hour drive. I went to the Midwest Preparedness Festival. Happy I did. I mean, I'll go. I'm going to Florida, down to Andrews. Yeah. I'm going to PA. I'm going to North Carolina. There's all kinds of places, and I'll come to you because I want everybody to know this, to learn it, to have accessibility to it.
So, guys, check out his channel. Check out the website. Reach out to him. Tell him that where you saw it. If you saw it here, please. And I will be hopefully taking the Homestead Medical in January, February timeline. And I would definitely report back. I will throw him on video again if I get the opportunity.
Anytime.
And remember, guys, get down here and meet these people, because they're the most amazing people that I think you will find that they're the most amazing people that you have yet to meet.
Yeah.
And they will make you better. It's like when you come here, it's like you're getting your batteries charged.
Walk up. There's a guy I met today who walked up, and this is what you need to do. Don't be shy. Don't stand back. Walk up, introduce you. He walked up, hey, my name's so-and-so. Talk to where you from? Hawaii. Said, you flew in for this? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that important. Hawaii. Don't give me any shit.
So shut up about how you can't get
There's
there.
a guy from Australia that's going to be here, from Germany. There's usually a guy here that comes from Japan.
Yep.
Don't give me the shit you can't be here.
Yeah.
Come.
If it's important enough to you, you'll make it a priority.
Yeah, and another thing, like and subscribe to Max's channel. Like and subscribe because he gives actionable, valuable information. I watch it, not because he's a friend, because he does. I learn from him. I learn from these people. Look at this whole group of people and be part of it. Like and subscribe to his stuff because you're going to learn something. He gives you something that's actionable and will mean something to you.
So guys, remember your path is out there. Go find it.